Some people are just not cut out to be dads, and poor Malachi had to grow up in a background that feels like the antagonist of a fairy. Frank, Malachi's uncle, thought to himself, I've got to raise Malachi, even if it means being his superhero. Over those 7 years, even though Frank knew Malachi was a math prodigy like a supernova in the universe, he didn't want his childhood to be chained down by numbers. So, whenever Malachi picked up a calculus book, Frank would gently steer him outside like a friendly amusement park. At sunset, Uncle Frank and Malachi strolled by the sea, enjoying their blissful pursuit like a superhero film. For Malachi, those moments were as precious as gold and felt like the secret weapon of his childhood. But alas, this peaceful life didn't last long. And then, just like a movie villain, Malachi's grandmother suddenly barged in, bringing not so little challenges to their lives. For 7 years, she hadn't shown up, leaving Malachi's upbringing lacking. See a classic example of parental absence. When she learned Malachi inherited the math genes, she mercilessly shifted her unfulfilled dreams to her granddaughter. To woo Malachi, Grandma brought over a shiny new laptop, excitedly pulling up advanced algebra. But Malachi was like, nice try, lady. I learned that when I was... Now he's researching differential equations. Grandma thought, I must step up. Her keen perception of Malachi's mathematical prowess further solidified her resolve to take him with her. Undoubtedly, the arguments she presented at the family meeting would steal the spotlight in this family feud. Frank firmly stood to protect Malachi, determined not to repeat his sister's tragedy, a classic psychological battle. Grandma, on the other hand, was unyielding. She showed zero remorse for her daughter's passing and thought it was time to snatch Malachi. In the end, they had a tearful showdown, but Grandma was not game for surrender. This custody battle was headed straight to court. Grandma's lawyer, like a cat on a hot tin roof, smeared Frank via Malachi's background a nail-biting drama. She confidently claimed Frank's financial situation wouldn't provide a stable living environment for Malachi, classic deflection. She formally requested that the judge grant Grandma custody of Malachi. This tug-of-war was about to escalate. However, Frank's black attorney demonstrated remarkable composure and wisdom, effortlessly resolving the conflict with merely a handful of concise yet powerful words. It was truly a remarkable miracle. The first hearing wrapped up in a light-hearted atmosphere. Much like a party, they celebrated a small victory. Though Frank remained Malachi's legal guardian, Grandma got a special 2-day pass to hang out with Malachi. She took Malachi to a match to dazzle him with science, a chance shining at light speed. Grandma said the wall featured the 7 hardest problems in math history, like a real-life treasure hunt. Hearing that, Malachi vowed to hang his photo up there too, becoming part of the wall's mystery like a hidden treasure map. Then, Grandma led him into a vast classroom, bringing in a math professor to test Malachi's abilities. This was like reality TV for science. But Malachi faced the puzzle on the board and hesitated. It was quite the head-scratcher. That question was like a mischievous sprite that left him hopelessly befuddled. Grandma felt let down, thinking the professor was deliberately troubling her grandson. No wonder he seemed smug. But Malachi piped up. No one could solve this. It's a trick question. He didn't just point out the error, but solved it right then and there. It left the professor in utter shock. Grandma's hopes for victory soared, and she had made up her mind to fight to the end. Those 2 days raced by like a flash, and Malachi returned to Uncle Frank, sharing tales of Grandma's luxury like a little star. He couldn't stop raving about the piano that stole his heart, blissfully unaware that the real home lay deeper within his soul. Meanwhile, waves of uncertainty crashed within Frank as he questioned whether his choices could match Malachi's dreams of a better life. Compared to Grandma's financial advantages, he felt outmatched, but knew family warmth and love transcended wealth. What he offered Malachi was not just material wealth, but emotional support that truly resonated within his soul, his heart's deepest desire. In the second custody battle, Grandma arrived fully prepared, leaving no stone unturned. Using her ample resources, she uncovered the mystery of Malachi's biological father, like unearthing a deep, buried secret. Grandma struck an undisclosed deal with Malachi's dad, using cash as bait to talk about shady business. When asked why he neglected his daughter for years, he used the needle in a haystack excuse. During this tense court session, the lawyer asked him to search for Malika, but he couldn't spell his daughter's full name, utterly embarrassing. Everyone present raised skeptical eyebrows at the start, leading the judge to think, how could someone so unfamiliar with their daughter's name qualify for custody? Because of this, the hearing stalemated again. Dad's unexpected appearance harmed Malachi. Back home, Malachi hid in the bathroom like a little fish drowning, letting his tears flood out. Today he finally met the dream figure, but it wasn't the warm reunion he longed for. This encounter became a torment, leaving him baffled as to why Dad chose this moment to tear his heart apart. Was his existence truly a burden, ensnaring him in endless confusion and pain? The entanglement of confusion and pain wrapped around Malachi's soul, leaving him wondering what his father really wanted to see. Speaking of an unworthy man, this was not just a psychological battle, but more like an intricate psychological game, prompting Uncle Frank to decide to take him to a hospital in town to see a therapist. Let's hope a therapist can help untangle the knots in Malachi's heart and return him to those carefree, joyful times.